Hi, I'm James Davis.
And I'm Claire Davis.
We're the Midlife Mentors, here to lift the lid on how to achieve health and happiness.
The balanced, no-nonsense way. Hello, it's Claire and James here, the Midlife Mentors, and we're live from
a sunny Ibiza.
We are indeed. Today, on our second podcast in the series, we're very excited. We're going to talk to you about the mistakes we make at midlife. Obviously, James and I don't make these because we're perfect, aren't we, darling?
Well, almost.
But yeah, we kind of wanting to share some of the common themes with the people that we've trained over the years, that we've coached over the years, and bring them together all in one little half-an-hour show for you. So, James, do you want to kickstart on what is probably one of the number one mistakes, I would say, for us midlifers?
I think it's a mistake for midlifers and for a lot of people, regardless of their age, which is the fad diet or the quick fix. And we see a lot of this. But why it becomes more prevalent, I think, at middle age is, our metabolisms are slowing down. It gets harder to keep our body fat lower if we're not training, if we're not watching what we eat. So it becomes very seductive, the idea of...
I knew you were going to use that word.
I am a seducer.
Oh, God.
It's very seductive, the idea of being able to just quickly fix what's gone wrong.
Yeah.
You wake up and suddenly the jeans don't fit anymore, and you think, hey presto, I'll do this miracle 2-week diet and I'll be able to get in my jeans again.
Yeah, and it's everywhere we see. It's all across social media. It's everywhere. These quick fix things like the skinny coffee. Don't even get me started on the skinny coffee. That's a bunch of models with Botox and, all sorts of crazy things going on and saying that they've got that way because of their skinny tea.
Not the liposuction.
It's not that. It's not the implants in the butt that has made them look like that at all.
Yeah, so there's the weird supplements people are pushing now to get a quick result. And then there's the fad diets, like the 30-day cleanses and stuff like this. Now, listen. If you want to lose weight, and I use the term weight here because that's what you will lose, they do work. If you severely restrict your calories, which is how all these things work, you can drop a lot of weight very fast. The thing is, that is not very healthy for a number of reasons. First up, when you lose weight, you're primarily losing muscle mass. When you lose it that fast, you're going to go into what we call a catabolic state and start breaking down your muscle. Actually, what you want to be losing is your body fat. And the way to do that is to lose your weight, in inverted commas, more gradually. So when we're losing weight gradually, we're going to lose more fat than we lose more muscle. Also, when we lose muscle, our metabolic rate slows as we have less muscle, and muscle's a metabolic activator. And also, if you severely calorie restrict, your metabolic rate is going to slow anyway, which gives you a perfect storm of, yes, you can dump a load of weight really quickly, but it's not the weight you want to lose. You've lost your muscle mass, your functional weight, and your metabolism is slower than it was before. So as soon as you start eating anything approaching normal, boom.
And listen, guys and girls, that's bad news anyway if you're 20 and 30. But when you hit midlife, sadly, our metabolic rate is slowing down anyway. Sadly, we're also decreasing our muscle mass. And sadly, our bone density is also getting weaker. So, the crash dieting is literally, it's terrible anyway. But it is the last thing you want to be doing at midlife because you are just fighting against your naturally aging body. So, and don't even get us kind of started on the tablets, the keto diet, the keto tablets, any of that stuff. I know, like James said, it is so seductive to go after those things. You know that you've got a holiday coming up and you've left it too late and all that stuff. We've been there. But it is honestly the worst thing you can do. So please try and do it a little bit more sensibly.
Yeah, don't leave it too late.
Yeah.
Leave more time than you think you need. Because you know what? You can lose body fat sensibly and sustainably at quite a decent rate if you nail your training and nutrition, which is how we work with people. But obviously, you're not going to perform a miracle in 2 weeks. If you're off to Barbados in 2 weeks and you suddenly want to be 2 dress sizes smaller... No.
Even you guys. You might want to be 2 dress sizes smaller.
Can't fit
into
those
that bikini.
Speedos.
But I was also going to say, psychologically, these quick fixes, these fad diets are also incredibly bad for you because you cannot sustain them, right? They are not sustainable. And like James said at the beginning, the only reason they work is because they're in an incredible calorie deficit. They're really, really super restrictive. There's nothing clever about them. They all do that. No matter what they say. And you will fall off the wagon because it is not sustainable. It's not in balance. So you are just going to feel really crappy about yourself once you've fallen off the wagon. And then you're going to create that loop all over again. You're going to comfort eat, you're going to put on more body fat, more weight, and then you're completely in the cycle all over again. And that's how they want to keep you. Mm-hmm. They want this is how they make their money. They want to keep you locked in that completely vicious cycle.
Yeah. What you should be aiming for is sustainable and steady for life.
You didn't get this way overnight. It's what we always say. You didn't, we didn't go up 2 dress sizes or 2 jean sizes overnight. So there is no miracle cure that's going to reverse it. It needs to be done steady and slowly over time.
So that's point 1.
Yes.
Avoid fad diets.
That's
Next
mistake number 1.
The favourite one, alcohol, booze.
It's so yummy.
Drink. Hey, listen, we love it. It's great.
We love it.
And it plays its role. Is it ever going to help your body goals? No. Unfortunately not, but I think we all know and understand that. So then it's about having a healthy relationship with it. Because a lot of time we'll see people who are in stressful jobs, even stressed mums, people who feel under a lot of pressure, as using alcohol as part of a crutch. So it'll be that 1, 2, 3 glasses of wine a night to kind of take the edge off the day. And totally understand that. Totally been there myself. But that's just from a purely body perspective before we get into like the psychological and the rest of it. It's just a lot of empty calories going in. Your body's going to have to work overtime to clear and a lot of sugars as well. So it's not going to help your body goals. And then there's the other side.
Yeah, I mean, like the psychological side of that is, I hate to say this out loud because it's going to touch a nerve with a few of you probably, but the whole functioning alcoholic, a lot of the women I coach personally, I know for James as well, but just women I coach, it's almost like we're functioning, we're so used to like having that as our crutch in the evening, most nights or quite a few nights of the week, that actually we have learnt how to function with a hangover the next day, or we're actually, which is even worse, is drinking our calories. See this a lot. So instead of eating your calories, you are drinking your calories because you have got it in, you are hooked on that as an emotional crutch so much, and it is such a habit that you're using that instead of eating. It's craziness, but we do understand because these are the stresses and strains of everyday life. But yeah, we see that a lot, don't we? It's functioning alcoholics.
And the other thing is, the other one we hear a lot is like stress playing a role, and people are like, the wine I drink at night helps me sleep. It's a misconception. Alcohol's a stimulant, so even if you think it's helping you sleep, I bet you probably have like a more disturbed sleep. So alcohol. We're not saying don't have it, but just in moderation, right?
You have to tell the terrible fact about how it metabolizes as well. So actually your body tries to, because it's a toxin, it tries to actually get it out of the body and burn through it and metabolize it quicker than food.
Yes, it will prioritize it in the digestion chain. So the alcohol, it will attempt to rid it from the body first, which means any food you're eating at the same time just gets stacked up in the queue behind for processing. So your classic 16 pints with a bag of pork scratchings and a kebab to finish is just not a good recipe.
That's just on Wednesday night for James.
Seriously, in moderation. So we all try and drink, not drink Monday to Thursday, for example, and then not go too crazy at the weekend either.
And that takes planning. We plan that. Yeah. So we look ahead and know when we might have any social engagements coming up, or know that when it's more likely that we're going to drink.
We don't have social engagements. Who are you kidding?
We really are rather antisocial. Sorry, everyone. But yeah, we kind of look ahead and work out when it's going to be a more drinking day than other days, and actually just pare back the other days. So it's about planning. It's about knowing what's coming up. And we always suggest to our clients to maybe do that on a Saturday or Sunday. And look at the week ahead and plan when that's going to happen, because it's better to go into a situation knowing that rather than just running on autopilot and habitual behaviour.
And last point on that is, often your alcohol is not a dependency, it's just a habit that you've fallen into. So you just need to work a little bit to break it. Try substituting waters, fruit juices, teas. They can all help when you're tempted to get home and reach for that bottle in the fridge. go for something else instead.
Yeah. Or just don't have it in the flat house or whatever, wherever you are. But we're not saying don't have it, because actually it is lovely. But that is one of the mistakes that midlifers make, is using
don't
alcohol.
Have it in the house. That's when you send me out to Threshers with a carrier bag.
So we're not moving on to the next mistake that we see a lot of midlifers make in particular is comparison.
Oh, I like this one.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw in comparison and unrealistic expectation.
Yeah,
off the back of the comparison.
Absolutely. I mean, comparison is the thief of joy. So just let that resonate with you. Comparison is the thief of joy. Comparing yourself, whether it's in your body, in your life, in your marriage, in your career, in your anything, is only going to lead you away from the wonderful life that you already have. Like, we live in a society of, I want that, I want that, I want that. And like, everyone is just presenting, because of social media, because of the digital world, everyone is just presenting their best lives and their best selves. And actually, that is not reality at all. So for you to compare yourself to that is craziness, which it's crazy to be comparing ourselves to these unrealistic expectations.
Yeah, I mean, apply your filter when you're on social media. I mean, you look at your own life, you're comparing your outtakes to someone else's highlights reel. You know, people are putting their best moments on there, portraying themselves in the best light. It's particularly true in the fitness space, whether you're male or female. So somebody may not know this, like you may look at people and go, they look amazing. These people are basically doing a lot of stuff to get into that kind of condition. And then what they'll do once they're there, they're not staying there year round. They'll just take loads and loads of videos and photos in different locations with different outfits and then recycle that content through the year. So it looks like they're always in that shape. But in fact, majority of people can't even maintain the kind of unrealistic images we're bombarded with on social media.
So it's all skewed. What you're comparing yourself to is all skewed. I mean, we were talking to someone about this the other day. Like, what people don't see is, like James is saying, all that stuff that goes on behind. They are not doing that without a lot of hard work. And I'm going to be really bold here. All these, bikini competitors, any of these fitness models that are looking incredibly ripped, don't look like it all the time, and are having something to enhance the way they look. Let's make no mistake there. It's not natural for us women to look like that consistently.
So I'd say the main thing when you're setting out on this journey is have realistic expectations of what you want to achieve and what you feel you can look like, and avoid comparison. You're on your own journey. There's a journey for you about feeling the best you can feel.
Yeah, and that was a massive game changer for me, is actually just constantly thinking to myself, what can I do to better myself? And actually, in the end, for me, I had to come off certain social media accounts and things like that, because it is incredibly damaging. We only need to look at, the rates of depression these days, and comparison is definitely up there with one of the causes. So that's another thing, another mistake that we see a lot of people making. One of the other ones is making your own health, fitness, whatever, making it low on your list of priorities.
Oh, we see this one all the time,
all the time. And, I know we've spoke about this in the last episode, but, people saying, I don't have time. Well, you're never going to find any more. You need to make it. And making it a priority in your life is often seen as really selfish. I'm going to say this particularly for women that have children. I don't want to make myself a priority because I'm taking myself away from my children, from my job, from this, that and the other, all the pressures. So it just goes to the bottom of the pile. Yeah.
It's a really interesting, actually, because it's such a big driver. Most people are like, would you like to look and feel amazing? And they're all like, yes. Would you want your confidence up high? Yes. Okay. Are you willing to work for that? Yeah. How much? And you say, you don't need to be spending hours in the gym. 40, 45 minutes 3 times a week could do it. And they're like, yeah, I can do that. But then they don't follow through. Even though it's like this burning desire, they don't follow through on the actual action. But it's not the lack of desire, it's just the lack of actually prioritising it and setting it as a goal.
Which actually kind of loops back round to these quick fixes. What you don't realise is, change happens incrementally. It builds over time. It's not something you see straight away. And, unless you can get around that and actually adopt that mentality of incremental changes are what is going to give me the health I want, the body I want, all of those things you want, even in business. We see this all the time. Yeah. We expect, even us, we're really impatient. We expect those results to happen really quickly, but they're incremental. And another thing I would say about making it low on the priority is that whole feeling selfish. If I put myself first and if I want to look a certain way, isn't that a bit shallow? Or, I can't give that my time to me because, I'm taking it away from my kids or whatever. It's the least selfish thing you can ever do is to look after your health. Your health is your wealth. I say this all the time. But if you look in the mirror and you start to like what you see, how do you think that comes across to everyone else?
True.
It's
the
a beautiful
confidence
thing.
You get when you feel great, spreads.
Yeah.
And goes to other people.
So make it a priority, not just because you think it's for you, but it's a priority for everything and everyone else in your life. You have to have yourself up there as one of your priorities.
And I think another reason that I certainly come across when people prioritise this low, even though it is a big desire of theirs, we're gonna talk about it in a minute, is training. But people often just don't know what to do to get the results.
Yeah.
It kind of links back to the first one. They've maybe tried some fad approach. They've seen the abs by working out 6 minutes a day for 21 days ad on Facebook and clicked it and bought the PDF and they've done it and surprise, surprise, it hasn't worked. And people get put off and discouraged and often we talk to clients and go, yeah, I'd love to look like that. I'd love to train, but I just don't understand what I should be doing. And sometimes that fear of not knowing what you're doing also makes you deprioritize it. But we're going to cover training, so don't let that lack of knowledge be a deprioritizer for you.
Exactly. There's plenty of people out there that can help. So the other one, big the
massive one.
Yeah, do you want to intro this as well?
This is about setting goals, and this is something we see all the time. So most of us in life are so used to setting goals in our corporate lives.
That's why most people, when we say goals, they're like, oh my goodness.
But think about it for a minute. We spend all that time at work, usually probably not doing stuff we would really want to be doing or really enjoying. And we set goals for it all the time. We're forced to. You have your appraisal sessions and you've got your targets to hit and all the rest of it. So we spend our time doing goals for something that actually probably really isn't that important to us. When it comes to our health, what's more important than your actual health? Nothing. And I tell you, if you get a health problem and you start to lose it, nothing will become more important. No. Yet we do not set goals for our health.
We don't give ourselves permission. We don't give ourselves permission to it all the time to do it. Which is why we do this on our workshop, on our retreats. We actually sit people down and sit them there for an entire hour where they cannot escape, and they just set goals around their own health and wellness. But not setting this goal, it's like a ship setting sail without a destination. If you do not know where you're heading, there's absolutely no way you're ever going to get there. And finding out, another part of this is finding out why you want it.
I was going to say it's a two-part thing, isn't it? Number one is actually realising what your goal is and setting it. But the other one that's arguably more important is understanding the emotional connection behind it, the why.
Yeah, and let's be really, really clear here. Unless you have a really deep-rooted emotional why of why you want that goal, you are never going to do what's necessary. You are never going to do what it takes to get you there every single day. When the alarm goes off and you want to hit snooze, whether it's raining outside and you don't want to go and do a workout, whether you don't want to bother going to the supermarket to plan for your shopping, whatever it is, if you haven't got that emotional connection to the why you want it, it is going to be virtually impossible to get there.
I know. So here's probably a good point to throw in a little exercise for you, listeners. Yes. Think about a goal you really want to achieve. And that could be anything. Preferably like a health or a body goal, but it could be anything. Write it down, get really clear on it, and we're going to use that horrible acronym SMART.
Oh, I do. Oh, it's awful.
No, but it does serve a purpose. There's no point going, I want to look better. No, quantify it in some way. I want to look by November for a party I'm going to, I want to fit in the dress I last wore when I was 26. That I've still got in the cupboard that I really love. And I still got that dress, Claire.
Have you?
Yeah.
I was going to say, you're talking like you actually
The
are going to come
hemlines
out.
are probably a little short for me at this age, but yeah.
Just the hemlines.
Yeah. So set the goal, make it specific, measurable, actionable.
Yeah, set a date to it. And also, I just need to say this because a lot of people get really concerned about setting goals because, and I get this as well, we've been here, setting a goal can sometimes be quite terrifying because you're already thinking about how you might not get there. I hope that makes sense to some of you. Like, you don't want to disappoint yourself by not getting there. So a lot of the time we don't set them at all, and we actually shy away from setting those kind of goals. The most important thing is to set a goal. Set the big goal, that's fine, with the specific and measurable and all that kind of stuff. But then kind of park it and just think, what can I do over the next couple of weeks? What 3 things, again, do this. Over the next 2 weeks, what are the 3 things that I could do just to move me towards that bigger goal? Just smaller things. So you start gaining traction, so you start gaining confidence, so that when you do hit those in 2 weeks, you feel more self-assurance and more confidence to set the next goals for the next 2 weeks. And then by the time you've done that for a little while, you're getting closer without focusing on the big top of the mountain. The big top of the mountain feels too overwhelming. That's why a lot of us fail really, really quickly at our goals, is because we're focusing on the big one rather than the small little changes we can do over a couple of weeks at a time.
Yep. Do that, break it down into the chunks, but then go back to your big goal and dig into your why. Yeah. Why do you want it? And you might have to ask yourself this question a few times over, right? So every time you get an answer, ask it again. So you might say, oh, because I want to look better. Why? Why do you want to look better? Oh, because I want to be more confident. Why do you want to be more confident? Actually, you know what? I don't feel that attractive anymore to my partner. Oh, so I want to feel more attractive to my partner. Why is that? Oh, I want our relationship to move up a level. And by digging in, by asking yourself those hard questions, you'll eventually come to the real kernel of the problem, the thing at the centre. That will be your why that will keep you going.
It's like peeling an onion.
It is.
And also just ask yourself, how will it make me feel when I get there? So why do I want this? And how will it make me feel when I get there? And visualise that. Allow your mind to wander and visualise it. And yeah, that's one of our little tips for you on that one.
So there's your interactive part.
Yes.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about training. So we see a lot of people making mistakes with training when they've got body goals. And again, it's kind of linked to something we talked about, not really understanding what you should be doing. As we age, our body's going to respond in different ways, you know, and when we're 20, we can train very differently and get very different results to when we're like 46, 47, like I am now.
Speak for yourself.
You have to adjust. It's about being a bit smarter in the gym and smarter with your time as well. Like, we're big advocates for doing like short, intense sessions of HIIT to manage body fat and keep our fitness up, and then intersperse that with lifting sessions because we want to preserve our muscle mass as we age, strengthen our skeleton, all the rest of it. So it's about actually digging in, finding what's going to work for you in terms of the time you've got available, what your goals are, and making sure you've got the right kind of program on the go. Because there's no point going to a gym with no clue, swinging some dumbbells around and then jogging on the treadmill for an hour. I mean, something's better than nothing, but work out a program that's going to work for you and stick with it, because you will get the results.
And don't also make the mistake that you have to go into a gym. I know James has said the gym a couple of times there, but I know he, you know...
I like the gym.
He likes
but you
the
can
gym.
do it at home. Very true.
I like the gym, you know, but don't think that you have to step anywhere near a gym to get the body that you desire, because it's not a truth at all. You can use so many bits of equipment at home, kettlebells, all those sorts of things to kind of gain lean muscle mass to strengthen the body. And that's why we always say you have to do a bit of the cardio with a bit of the lifting, because just doing cardio won't give you the body that you want, and also isn't going to help maintain your muscle mass as you get older. But yeah, I think we often see that people have been doing the same things over and over and over again for years and years and years, and your body adapts really quickly to what you're doing. So you do have to kind of mix it up all the time and up and down the level of intensity that you're doing. And people plateau, they lose faith, and then they just fall off the wagon altogether. And it's not that you're not trying hard enough, it's probably just that you don't necessarily know what you're doing and getting the results from it. So that would be another one that we see a lot of the time. True story, we had a lovely client come to a retreat. She came back a year later and she was like, oh, I'm not getting the results anymore. And we were like, are you training intensity? And she's like, yeah. And then, like, actually a couple of days with us, and she was like, no, I haven't been training with intensity. And the fitter you get, the more you have to push yourself to carry on getting results.
Exactly.
So that's another one. Anyway, the other one
now
is...
Now some more general ones in life that we see that could actually hinder your enjoyment, your happiness in life. And one of the big ones is just stopping taking risks. It's natural as we age, our fear increases seemingly, and we get more risk averse.
We do.
But that can actually stop us doing a lot of things that would give us a lot of happiness and joy. So I think our encouragement on that would be like, rather than thinking about the risk, the negative risk of the thing you're considering, think about the risk of not doing it, the risk of your inaction. And if you want to relate this back to, like, you know, training or diet or nutrition, you know, what is the risk of you not getting healthy now? As you get older, it's going to get harder and harder and harder and harder. The longer you leave it, the harder it's going to be. So it might feel like a risk to join a gym, start a program,
invest money in
a trainer.
Exactly.
But what's the long-term risk of doing nothing? It's greater. And that can apply to lots of things in life, like changing career, moving house.
Changing
we can get so
country.
caught up in the what could go wrong that we get actually paralysed into doing nothing.
And it's really sad because actually a lot of the time, I'm going to be bold here again, we just end up living very mediocre lives. And you can tell, you feel the dissatisfaction in your own being. And I know people are going to resonate with this. You feel the dissatisfaction, but you've put yourself in these boxes that you feel completely trapped in. And you are completely risk averse, as James says, because we've built our entire worlds around things that we think are going to make us happy, and now boom, we're there. And that's what, I hate this phrase, but that's a lot of the time what generates the midlife crisis, because you're there and you realise you're not expanding as a human being anymore. You're not really valuing this amazing gift of life. You're not becoming a better version of yourself all the time. And as human beings, that's what happiness is. It's expanding. It's becoming more. Not being grateful for what you have, but stepping out, having adventure, stepping outside your comfort zone.
We forget how to stay happy and how to keep expanding.
Yeah.
And we're designed to. We're curious creatures, and we're meant to be seeking out new experiences all the time. When we stop, that's when, you know, we end up in trouble.
Yeah, so absolutely, the risk of inaction. Don't think about the risk of doing something. Think about the risk of inaction. You know, years and years and years and years down the line, still comfort eating, still not got your health and fitness back under control, still not feeling comfortable in your own skin, all that kind of stuff. That's definitely something that we see a lot, isn't it? And the final one, is a biggie, actually. Probably a bit left field, some of you might say, and that is relationships. So, a midlife mistake is that in our love relationships, we often end up completely taking what we have for granted, and we stop seeing the beauty in what we originally saw in them, and we stop working on it.
Yeah.
And we see this, it is sad to see, and we see this a lot. And one of the things that I have definitely learnt from my divorces, and I know James has as well, is that actually I learnt a lot about myself in those situations. There is always two sides to the story, and I know that I've brought a new person to this relationship, but I still have to. We still have to work on it. There's still give and take, and there's still trying to keep. There's the keeping the spark alive.
I think a lot of us can settle into taking things for granted. But when we take things for granted, we lose our appreciation, and when we lose our appreciation, we lose our gratitude, and that can have a massive effect on relationships. It's really important just to take the time to tell the other person why you love them, make time for them, and relationships, like everything else, have to be worked out. You can't just go, I've met this person, it's great, now I don't need to do anything. You've got to keep working all the time.
Yeah, and don't think that that relationship is good or bad or whatever because of that person. At midlife, there are lots of things that get thrown up at us. You know, like we are looking back over our life probably and thinking, am I happy with what I have, where I've been? There are lots of questions that are thrown up. Let's make no mistake. And to think that, you know, something is dependent on, your happiness is dependent on someone, i.e. that person is making me unhappy. Have a look at yourself first.
Yeah.
Look at yourself first. Happiness is an inside job. So a lot of the time in relationships, it's very, very easy to blame the other person for how you feel. But actually, you are completely in control of your reactions about how that person is making you feel. And a lot of the time, it's that you haven't done the work on your baggage, on your stuff, and the things that are going on for you right now to make you a better person for that person.
Yeah, I've been privileged. I've had to take a long, hard look at myself, and it's taught me many lessons and helped me grow. But a lot of us are afraid of doing that because we're settled and we think we know ourselves. But, you know, it's always good to inquire. And if you're not giving your best, you know, don't look at the other person. Think, what's my role in that as well?
How can I become a better person? What am I not doing that's becoming my best? Because often we're a reflection of each other. So the things that you are not enjoying seeing in that other person is often the things that you need to work on. So
I hope you found that useful. Lots of mistakes there,
yes,
and how to avoid them. I'd say your big takeaway today: go do that goal work.
Yes, absolutely. Find your why, and also don't take this life too seriously. Take it seriously, but don't take it too seriously. You know, your midlife can be your best life. This is an opportunity for us to use the wisdom of our years and use them wisely and transition into midlife in health and happiness. So, from a sunny Ibiza,
goodbye.
that's all we've got. Lots of love.